This is Mrs. Jellineck. She's gorgeous. She's one lady who really knows how to take care of herself. And this is Mrs. Carmody. She's a private eye. Oh, and by the way, I'm Joe, the cook. I take care of Mrs. Jellineck and Mrs. Carmody, which is quite a challenge, because when we all get together, it's murder!
A classic move.
I'm sorry, I don't follow. Mrs. Jellineck! Mrs. Carmody, thank goodness! Constable McIntyre said I'd find you here.
Baroness Ipswich, whatever's the matter?
Murder. Most hideous. Next to the curiosity shop. Please, London needs you to solve this horrible crime.
There'll always be more murder. Jellineck, will you join us, Joe?
Of course.
Let's be about it! Let's be about it!
God bless us and save us!
Good job, Ninja!
Baroness Ipswich, Mrs. Carmody, Mrs. Jellineck, Joe the cook, thank goodness you're here! London needs you to solve this horrible crime.
But you didn't say it was...
Dickie Daniels!
He painted my portrait.
I borrowed his cake stand.
And very recently, Dickie Daniels tried to make sweet love to me.
We're almost finished, Mrs. Jellineck.
Sitting still is my worst thing. I get so stiff.
You're doing great. I can't believe we're nearly finished after all these weeks.
Mrs. Carmody and I are so happy your painting career is taking off.
You are more confident than I.
Your prices are going up. I had to get my portrait done by Dickie Daniels while I still can.
I am starting to have a following. It's all thanks to you and Mrs. Carmody for being such great supporters of my work.
Mrs. Carmody will be so surprised to get an original Dickie Daniels for a birthday present. Oh, my nose tickles. Oh.
There. Voila.
How elegant I look.
Yes. Yes, it does. You know, you're a very beautiful woman, Mrs. Jellineck.
You're making me blush. How much do I owe you, Mr. Daniels?
It's Dickie, please. And I'd like you to have the portrait as a token of my appreciation for you and Mrs. Carmody.
But your paintings are priceless.
As are you. May I? You feel so wonderful in my arms. Oh, how I've longed for your touch.
Mr. Daniels, Dickie, please. I'm beyond flattered. But after the unfortunate death of my husband, Mr. Neville Jellineck. Mr. Jellineck was attacked by an exotic cat that escaped from the wildlife rescue. Oh, I've never had the guts to love again.
I can wait until you're ready, Mrs. Jellineck. But I won't wait forever.
Noted and responded to. It was supposed to be a surprise.
It is?
No, I mean the portrait. It's a present for your 60th birthday, Nora. Bless the tiny heart beating inside your tiny chest. But why is Dickie Daniels laying in the alley next to the curiosity shop?
Oh, he lives next door. Oh no. What if he was running for help?
And didn't make it.
Mrs. Carmody, Mrs. Jellineck, look!
Well, we have our murder weapon, but what's that on the handle? It tastes like baking flour. Now, why would there be bacon flour on the murder weapon?
Let me be the first to say that I know that this looks bad, but I didn't do it.
Joe the cook, didn't I see you this morning?
I'm sorry I didn't say hello, Baroness Ipswich. I was in a hurry to see Dickie Daniels, but I can explain the cake flour and my fingerprints on the knife handle. Yoo-hoo, Dickie Daniels!
Joe the cook. Kettle's on.
Oh, tea would be lovely. Look at me, I'm a mess.
Well, I'm all covered in paint. Artists, am I right?
Dickie, can I borrow your jadeite 1930s Fenton?
Cake stand? Yeah, of course. You baking a cake?
Don't tell anyone, but I'm making Mrs. Carmody's 60th birthday cake.
Here we go. And there's a knife there as well, if you need it.
Oh, Mrs. Carmody has a kitchen full of utensils. No, thank you. But you are invited to the party.
Good. Because actually I wanted to ask you something, Joe the cook. Is there anyone special in Mrs. Jellineck's life?
Like a boyfriend? No, not since the tragic death of her husband.
Well, that is encouraging.
So that's why you're carrying a cake.
It's for Mrs. C.
Me tears are blinded me eyes. You baking a cake for me 60th. Hold it together, Nora. That I will, Jellineck. So that explains the flour and the murder weapon. But what was the motive? And who did it? Someone very evil murdered my dear Dickie Daniels. Mrs. Jellineck, are you crying? I played it coy, Nora, but I was falling in love with him.
Oh, Mrs. Jellineck.
Poor Mrs. Jellineck. You're the best friends anyone could ever have.
Mrs. Jellineck, Mrs. Carmody, look!
Liz Langoria, art curator. Maybe we should pay Liz Langoria a visit.
Maybe she was the last one to see Dickie Daniels alive.
Maybe we should go undercover.
I'm sorry, don't follow.
Well, you're very well known in London. What if the murderer recognizes you?
So, we'll wear disguises and pose as artists.
Joe, the art curating business is a dark and treacherous place filled with black market resale.
Exciting! I mean, dangerous. But also fun to wear costumes, right?
Right you are, Joe. Let's be about it.
Let's be about it!
Nora, there it is.
Someone's coming.
Quick, Joe, take the engine hide. Liz. Liz Langoria.
Yes. Yes, it is. You've come to bid on the Jellineck?
The artist is Dickie Daniels.
Unfortunately, the artist is deceased. But, fortunately, the value of his paintings have increased tenfold.
Because a painting is worth more when the artist is dead. Mrs. Jellineck, I think we have our motive. A motive as old as time. Greed.
Oh, I recognize you. You're Mrs. Carmody and Mrs. Jellineck, London's famous crime-solving duo.
That we are.
Oh, I get it. You're not at all interested in bidding on the Jellineck.
Actually, Liz Langoria, I don't think you get the full picture.
Oh, I get the entire portrait. I am the largest curator in the world, and adorable Dickie Daniels' art was worth thousands. Then I thought, why don't I help his career by killing him? And now he's worth millions. Dickie Daniels, darling.
Liz Langoria, who isn't my favourite patron of the arts.
I'm making you famous.
After buying 7 of my paintings last night at your art show, I believe that's true.
You are up and coming. Soon everyone's going to want a Dickie Daniels. But wait, what's this? What a beautiful painting of a beautiful woman. How come this wasn't in the art show last night?
No, it wasn't. That's for a very special customer.
How much?
Actually, I feel a little uncomfortable discussing a private commission.
The problem is, darling, I want this one. I'll pay you anything you like.
It's not for sale.
Oh, come on, you can paint another painting just like it. The anonymous patron won't even know.
I'd find it a bit unethical.
But I want it.
Sorry, Liz. She's not for sale. A toast?
Silly me. Of course. Cheers. Here's to making millions.
Liz Langoria, in the name of Her Royal Majesty, the Queen, Mrs. Jellineck and I arrest you for the murder of Dickie Daniels.
I don't like busybodies. Do you think that I've been carrying this turpentine around with me to clean brushes? No ideas. Turpentine is rated very flammable by the National Fire Protection Association, which means it's a serious fire hazard.
Are you crazy? You're gonna burn us down along with the paintings.
Ever heard of fire insurance? You meddling nosy bodies will go up in flames with the rest of the rubbish. Now hand me that Jellineck. Not that one, you fool. The painting.
Ninja! Get her!
We may not be artists, but one thing's for certain. Turpentine's used to clean smut, and you're a dirty part. Oh, Mrs. Jellineck, thank good Lord, Liz Langoria's behind bars and we're home safe and sound. Just in time for your 60th birthday, Nora.
Mrs. C, blow out the candles and make a wish.
I may be 60, but I'm not retiring yet.
Get it? Mrs. Carmody and Mrs. Jellineck's residence? One moment. It's for you, Mrs. C. Constable McIntyre.
Carmody here? Yes. Yes, I see. Oh, what a horrible crime. Mrs. Jellineck and I will be directly on the case. Well, there's one thing you can count on.
There'll always be more.
Murder. Let's be about it! Let's be about it!